mwanamke kuoia shamba kwao, yeye hana haki pale.
Mama wanaumia kwa kila njia. Hakuna mtu anawatetea.
Kwa hiyo maneno masaba kupea msichana, naona italeta vita katika hiyo boma.
Vita itatokea wapi?
In the plan of God, women were created equal with men. And all of us were created so that we can live together and walk together. Currently, women and men are not walking together.
The journey to women's empowerment in Kenya has been long and difficult. Throughout Kenya's history, women have experienced consistent rights abuses while shouldering an overwhelming amount of responsibilities. The country is replete with anecdotes of women subjected to domestic or political violence, widows chased from their land by in-laws, or forced to engage in risky traditional practices involving unprotected sex to keep their property, or girls subjected to female genital mutilation and given out for early marriages, among other rights violations. Moreover, women have been excluded from key decision-making positions over the years. After a long struggle of agitating for new laws and policies, a constitution that guarantees women's equal treatment and opportunities in political, economic, cultural and social spheres was enacted in August 2010. Women have come a long way.
The women representatives in Kenya has a long history. Many years, since 1963, we had very little percentage in the parliament, but we fought for it. The first affirmative action bill to be taken to the parliament was 1983 by Mama Sio, and it was thrown out.
Immediately after the defeat, the women met outside the parliament and they declared that they were no longer going to talk about being non-partisan, non-political and so on, and formed the Women's Political Caucus. And that became the start of a very, very strong movement to deal with the question, in particular, the question of women's representation in leadership positions, in leadership and appointing positions.
In 1997, when the few women in parliament stepped in the patriarchal space in parliament and asked for affirmative action change, and the reaction they got, we sum it up as the country was not ready for affirmative action. When that became very evident for the women of Kenya, they say then the journey starts. We are not begging for it, we are going to advocate and ask at every juncture that it happens.
But passing the constitution was only the beginning of the struggle.
Provisions in the electoral law and in the political parties law, which would have made it mandatory for parties to nominate, to make sure at least 1/3 women reach the finishing line. What I'm seeing, because when they were telling us of the amendment, they were not disclosing that they would bring a change to the electoral date. They are testing waters. We allow this. The next thing, we shall be told that the 15% to the counties is not practical and they need an amendment for 2%. They'll always be bringing an amendment to something. Women of Kenya, this is painful because a carrot is being dangled. Let's please take time to think. Let us not be used.
To ensure the needs and aspirations of women are met, a coalition of civil society organizations under the leadership of the Women Empowerment Link, WELL, initiated a process of developing a political charter, a benchmark against which to measure the extent to which the gains in the new constitution are realized.
You have to have multiple strategies of running office, and you don't have to do it directly.
This charter is prepared by the Kenyan women from all parts of this country. It is not a charter for just women. It is a charter spearheaded by women, because we feel we have a responsibility to show the direction this country should go, especially after the promulgation of the new constitution.
The charter is very important because it actually is a blueprint for which women leaders can then attest and follow in order to ensure that they actually do deliver for other women who will be coming up in positions of leadership. It's also very important in terms of being able to hold leaders to account in terms of some of the promises that they will make or have made towards women's empowerment in our country. Therefore, it's a very important document that will actually be for prosperity for our country.
That we need this charter, yes, because we need to know how to engage. There are attitudes out there are still very political, they are against women. And when we are being presented for the 1/3 claim, and people still don't know what to do with it. They say politics is competitive.
And the first lady there is Emily Sampaio from Kajiado Central, Kajiado County.
And so, welcome to this process. You are contributing to a big...
The process of developing the charter has been an inclusive and systematic one.
There are many partners in this process that have worked on women leadership to where it is right now. So these partners will work together with us according to their areas of strength and actually load the charter out to as many regions as possible. And that means our initiative needs to cover the 47 counties.
While the Constitution provides immense opportunities for women, inclusion of women in decision-making, the political landscape has over the years been a challenge for women.
What we have seen is high incidences of gender electoral violence for women candidates who have aspired to positions. Also, we have seen high levels of corruption, high levels of actually horse trading, whereby women are actually shortchanged from being able to vie for elective office.
Despite these challenges, women have come out in large numbers to vie for leadership positions at various levels.
What concerns us as women. But before we go into the objectives as to why we have called you here, I would like to hear from you. What are your expectations when you were called for this meeting? What were you expecting?
What Kenyans want is transformative leadership regardless of gender.
And so it is very important that women put themselves out there. Every woman aspirant understands that she is going in to serve. She's going in to serve her country. She's going in to be a very important cog in the wheel of service delivery.
Political corruption in Kenya is rampant at all levels of government and law enforcement.
That's why the people who should be elected in the 2012 elections should be men and women who know what the new constitution requires of them.
No leadership without integrity. Negative ethnicity has been a key trigger of violence in the country. Politicians maneuvering for power have perfected the art of manipulating ethnic differences for political ends. Women offering themselves for positions of leadership are not exempted.
I think this charter has addressed this issue of social diversities. We've been very, very concerned about the trend that is emerging in this country since the new constitution, where culture is being misinterpreted to bring back ethnicity and very negative ethnicity through the back door, to actually politicize ethnicity in a very dangerous manner for the country.
Domestic violence and general insecurity are also of great concerns to women. Women want elected and appointed leaders to guarantee their security and that of their children, families, communities and the country. While the new constitution has clear provisions that guarantees access to rights by men and women, changing cultural practices and norms that hinders non-discrimination for women is a huge task. The Charter provides a ray of hope in addressing culture as an enabler rather than an impediment to the women's access to rights. The development of the Charter has not been smooth sailing.
Bringing together the issues that women have is not an easy process. And particularly the fact that sometimes it's thought that women are making too much demands. We do recognize the pains and the experiences that women have gone through in different sectors, including gender-based violence. And even during election processes, there are challenges that women have faced while seeking for even the political positions. We know women have been faced a lot of challenges. And in the process, while we are seeking even for views, we faced a lot of challenges. As many thought, you already have the Constitution, why a charter?
But the response to the Charter has been positive.
Women can indeed bring change in our leadership as a country and even in other sectors. But we just do not want a woman as a leader. We want someone with transformative leadership.
What is good for women is good for the country. If we talk about equality of men and women, it is because it is important for the country and it will change the institutions of the country for better. It will change the culture of the country, and you will be surprised.
So I support that Constitution wholeheartedly. That section.
In Kenya now, we've always followed the culture that women should not talk, they should just. But nowadays we are in a new era. I think women can be good leaders. Like now in Africa, there's a president who is a woman, who is a lady, and is performing. I think if we can change the leadership, we might change a lot. So women can even have a say. I think even in my view, if a woman can be the president, it can be better for me.
Sisi tunafurahia wapewe mamlaka ndio watuendeleshe hata sisi.
The process of developing the Charter began in April 2010 and will climax at National Executive Convention on the 27th of January 2012, at which the Charter will be launched. This will be followed with rigorous public education to popularize the Charter and a process of collecting signatures of aspirants and committing them to sign the Charter. We are appealing to our children, our sisters and mothers, brothers, spouses and fathers, our communities and leaders to support this Charter. To empower a woman is to empower the whole community.
Sheria imeleta mabadiliko mzuri. Hata sisi tupate urithi.